Okay, thank you for attending today's meetings. Okay, let's get started. So, as you guys know, the Sidhu Research and Scholarship Committee, so Marian, Uzun, Anna, and Grace, we would like to share the faculty research, resources, and also offer the workshop and the research, around the table regularly to support the research, collaboration. So for this semester, 2 meetings are scheduled. So one for today and another one for April 27th. So today, Anna will share tips to learn how to manage references and easily with the Mendeley. And we also, have some time to share, our research idea. So pretty much, brainstorming. And I hope, you don't have to feel pressure, for this meeting. Okay. So we freely shared, our idea to work together. And also we really want, you share the, any resources you have, you would like to share with us. Okay. So research committee also, work for the Center for Business and Leadership Research. Before we start, the workshop, we would like to briefly explain the Center for Business and Research, the leadership research. Uzun, can you share the some information for us?
Okay, I didn't see that coming.
Oh,
all right. It's okay. Yeah, I mean, I was having a. I mean, that's good. Yeah, I mean, Ruth and I actually discussed it last two. I think it was almost the last year. We wanted to launch a new center for business and leadership research, and from that, conversation, we started from small group. So last summer, Helen, Anna, and Grace, we worked together and tried to find some collaborative environment. So that's why we created a website, and we are still working on our center, which is located just by the Dean Suite and Suite 20 right, Anna? I think it's close to that. Right now, we have a computer there, we have printer there, and we have some resources for your research projects. And we currently have 3 research interns. I'm working with them. The reason why we have research interns in this semester is that I'd like to help our students to experience some research opportunities. At the same time, I wanted to provide some resources for our faculty members if they need any help from our students when it comes to collecting data, doing a literature review, anything like that. So feel free to reach out to either Herion or me for more information, and we'll definitely direct and pair up with you with our students. And the reason why we have mission and goals, Dr. Herion Lee sharing this screen right now, we created mission in the beginning of last summer. If there's anything you wanted to add on or change, feel free to let us know so that we can update our web page. And there's some actual goals. We are designed to promote and support interdisciplinary research within Sidhu School of Business and Leadership. I think that is the most important point here. As a faculty, it is really difficult for us to find time for our research project. So we wanted to collaborate each other and help each other to boost more opportunities. And also we wanted to provide students with exposure to and engagement in research and learning activities through cooperative research process, and also to engage the community through workshops and distribution of scientific research. In order to ensure the last 2 goals, we are going to have 2 workshops every semester. The first one is today. I think Dr. Lee, would you like to share more about this?
So yeah, so for today, actually, the Anna gonna share the reference management, the tips for the reference management. So Anna, it's your turn. Are you ready?
Sure. Yeah. No problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing, then you can stop.
Okay, so it's gonna be share my screen.
Sorry, I need to click this. Yeah, you can share the screen now.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Okay, so it's this problem. It just I'm not expert. First of all, just personal disclaimer. I'm not expert on reference management. It's just my personal experiences using the Mendeley. So first of all, this is probably the major mainstream reference like software on the market. I know we have Zotero, and any of us have actually here used the Mendeley, this one before, or have some experiences Mendeley somehow. Okay, no, yeah, maybe Zotero, some with Zotero and EndNote. Okay, I know I see like everything here. Okay, good. So one thing, good. I'm mainly using Mendeley because the good thing for Mendeley is free. So you can just go to the website, download the software, and you can just go. Zotero, for what I know, this is actually from the reference manager wise. I think all the three is very similar. It just digging to what you are feel comfortable with. So it is my doctor program, my advisor using Mendeley. So I'm just picking up with the Mendeley, sticking with that. For what I know, Mendeley is a free, and so is Zotero. And a note, I know our library has kind of been, we can using it for web version, but I do believe their desktop version, like standalone web software. Our library, we don't have a license for that, so I think that is cost extra money. But Mendeley, you don't need any library subscription. You can just go there, download it. So it is good. It's free. So basically, what is Mendeley? It is free academic software. The good thing about Mendeley, it is actually cross-platform. So if whatever you have, Windows, the laptop or Mac, you can, or even if you have Linux, you can download it and install it on your computer. Besides computer version, so they do have like whole, download the website, a whole standalone software version. You can also access to a web version and the mobile. To be honest, I'm never using mobile, but I believe it do similar like web version. They offer limited functions. So for example, you can go there still checking your references, all the papers you collected, but you cannot generate a reference or like for example like bibliography or in-text citations. But you can go there and checking what the references you put in your library. So that is basically for these two platforms. So the first thing you to do, of course, is download the website and install on your computer. Besides this one, two things. Also, I strongly recommend you to also install on computer. One is called this web importer. So basically, this is more like a browser extension. It is available in both Chrome and also Firefox. So if you just download here, it will look like a little bit extension, button in here. It is a great way. It saves a lot of energy when you want to import any citations you want. So that is actually a great tool you can do. Another thing I strongly recommend you to add is their add-ins for Microsoft Word. So again, this is available for both, for Mac computer and also Windows version. So this is more like Windows version. So if you download it, it is like add-ins you put into the Word document to the Word documents, just like you install like Grammarly, so small adding on that. So this is also the tool that when you're writing in the Word document, like most of the time we want to have this in-text citation and generate the whole page of this reference list. And we don't want to have manually type everything. This is just save tons of effort. So this is actually the main thing I'm using for Mendeley. Just try to generate in-text citations and then a whole bibliography. So this is how the Mendeley desktop will look like. And you will see there was different pages here. So we're having the main page. This is just like a library how we manage the papers. We have different folders, and this is some basic information for that single paper. So how to add a document? So let me actually pulling up my Mendeley so it's easier to see it. So this is a Mendeley look like. So we can simply go with adding the papers. It's just because the reasons why we need to add in the paper is that if later we want to create in-text citation, all the papers has to be, at least the title of the paper has to be in your database. So that is the thing. So we can either go with here, adding single file, you can choosing here, you can choosing the documents here, or we can even adding the whole folders inside it. And then the great way to do that, another great way or easier way to do that is basically, if we have any PDF, let's say, if we have any PDF, we just, just pull it up because all my papers is already inside it. So you are not probably seeing new paper, but you can simply pull it up the paper and the paper will be here too. Let me see what here, and we'll see several folders here. So you can create a folder. So this can be just, like your reference. This is real like reference management. So you can go create it with different topic and put the, different folders inside it. And here it will automatically, so the whole software will automatically detect the titles, authors, all the informations with the papers. But if something, is wrong, that, PDF some, problem, you can also manually changing any information like authors or journal name or like abstract here. So you can manually changing that too. And you can also putting out tags, I believe. If later for your own purposes, try to searching for your paper. So that can be another good way. Also, you can put notes and contents here. So this can be just, a good overview of what that paper is. And let me go back to the slide. So basically, when you're importing all the papers, we're able to create our own libraries, and you can, have different folders in here, and just try to navigate the material better. Also, when we want to search, we can simply go with here. There is a search bar here. We can searching through all the papers with the titles and abstract, or we can searching within single folder. So if you just have one specific topic you're interested in, and you can just search within that. A good way, it is not just kind of being only able to see the titles here, but it is also can be a PDF readers. So you can even searching for the word that actually coming up in that paper. So, for example, not this one. So, for example, if I search we're just using one example up here, power distance, because I have a lot of power distance papers inside it, and it's coming. This is not in the Anthem Promises, but that all actually library. You're able to see it is not only coming up with a title, but probably also within this material. You're able to tell you, okay, this paper, this places is actually talking power distance. So it's kind of combining with your library and also just your Adobe readers together. Just since we're already in this page, so let's talk a little bit more. So this is just you can using it as a reading, just like Adobe Reader, PDF Reader. You can do simple things like highlighting or highlighting it, or you can change the color of highlighting. Let's say highlight it, or we can do is put a note on that. So we can do some simple annotations here. Just make it simple here. So you can put everything basically in one places. So let me know if you have any questions throughout the presentations. I'm happy, if I know it, I'm happy to answer that. So you can do it as both PDF readers and do some simple highlighting and annotations. Okay. Also a good way it is you can they have a groups functions. It's just like Google Drive or Google folders. You can actually create a group and share with your co-authors or the people you're working on. So you can just create a group here. Now they can be disabled both public and invite only. So the only private this one is available, but this is just the one we need. So you just sharing it with the people that you have. So you can rather than putting papers into the Google Drive, but you can put in paper here, so everything is updated. For what I believe is for Mendeley, I believe it is do have this cloud version, so which means that even later you changing your computers, you can still able to have this downloaded in your computer too. They do, I believe they do have a maximum for how much like the whole content is, but I have using it for like 3-4 years, but I don't see that I have coming to a maximum limit. So I do believe the whole content is big, and you can, if you want extra like storage for this cloud, you can pay extra, I think. Okay, now this big part, like how should I cite? So this is the main. I don't using Mendeley a lot for like reading the papers or putting into the folders, but I using Mendeley a lot just to citing the papers. When we do write the papers, it is a great way to do the citations. So a good way we can have, oh, I forget. I believe where is when adding the papers is here. So one thing we can adding the papers is using this, what we call this is the addings I just talked about, this web importer adding. You first of course need to log in to this account, and then simply click this one. So for example, like here, I just searching the word I'm looking for, and then click here. You're able to have all the paper coming up. I would recommend you not to go from Google Scholar, because sometimes the information is not correct. I will recommend you to go click to that exact paper link. For example, like first one is actually this link. So it's coming for the page of that original paper coming from. And then if you simply click on that, sometimes we don't want PDF, we only want the citations. You just add in here, and this citation will becoming part in your library. Or sometimes we actually want the PDF, and then and it happens if this papers, when our library actually have access to that, and we're in our library Wilkes internet, we actually, this one will automatically help us to download the paper. So you will, after we click that, this paper, let's say added, and this paper will automatically appear in our Mendeley folders too. Since I already have this paper, so I believe it should be here already. So you can just clear it and then sync it. So it should be able to appear somehow. But since I have already had this in my computer, so you probably will not hear. Okay, yeah, it's here. So you will see it, the paper is coming up in the folders. So now we have all the documents ready in our library, and we want to cite. So just first of all, we need to have is install that Word add-ins, and I have is Mac version. I believe now they have a little bit updated. So if you have a Windows computer, you may see a little bit different looks on your screen compared with mine, because the Word is different on two systems here. But let's say we want to put some in-text citation. So we write a paragraph, and we want to citing some people's work. So if first of all we go with here reference, and then we just go with here insert and add the citations. Let's say the person I just talked about, say okay. And if you have one more, you can have more people. Let's say, oh, because my computers, they should be okay, so we can have it should be updated, but have not. But after you're doing that, you're able to have the people, this one will automatically appear in your Word document. This is your in-text citations. And let's say now we need to having this final bibliography, this reference page. Just simply go with here, insert the bibliography, and you should have all the paper ready in the format you want. A very good thing about Mendeley I really like is you can select the style of the journal. So for example, I'm currently using journal marketing style, but let's say I want to change into another style. You can simply change into a different style, and then they were able to slightly changing depending on what that journal style is. So you have actually, if you go to their library, and I believe it's go with the mine. And somewhere in the style, they should have styles, citation style. You go with the view citation style. If you're finding out your journal style is not there, you can simply just go with here and searching for what style you want. Let's say Journal of Applied Psychology. So So you can have more here, Journal of, let's say, Management. Okay, or Management Science. Okay, so just let's use Journal of Management. So you can just install it, and it will automatically appear on your here, and you can later just using it on the Mendeley. So if you need a new journal style, guys, you need to first of all somewhere just to use it, need to use this style, and they will be automatically updated in your Word too. So,
and I have a question.
yes, go ahead.
If you have an author you're using and they have prior publications and you found the latest one, does Mendeley have the ability to pull the older one as well into your list of resources?
So do you mean that the author published a newer, like a different paper, like different topics, but there was a newer one? I don't believe the Mendeley will automatically detect that. So you need to
so
search yourself.
Oysterman 2006, and then we had an Oysterman 2012, and we have the 2006 already loaded. Could we do a search, or would we just have to go to Google Scholar and then pull that document in?
You have to manually go to the Google Scholar, go to Oysterman 2006 and Oysterman 12, and then to create in your own library. They cannot detecting the paper for you. But I believe Mendeley also have a function is they, if you are registered to their email alerts, they will send you some topics on certain, like latest paper on certain topics. So I do a lot of variety seeking. So they will send me, this is a paper you're probably interested in on variety seeking, and it's just like Google Alerts, so you can take a look whether you do have that. Yeah, I guess actually that is probably I just said it's very short. It goes just like go through all this work. And I basically, covered all of that. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
Anna, it was terrific. I have a quick question about that sharing function.
Which one?
Thank you, Anna.
The private, where you could do the sharing function, where you could share it with the group. So when you have that private closed discussion, are there any limits? Like if we wanted to share it outside, I mean, what's the, I guess, I'm sort of wondering how that works. If there are limits on who you can share it with. So are they saying you could share it with like 5 or 6 different people, but it has to stay a closed discussion, but you could invite them?
As long as you have email address and approve that, that's fine.
Okay, so it's really up to you. You could approve anybody. Okay, that's what I wanted to check. Okay, thanks.
Any other questions on this one? Or you want to share your own experiences with your reference management techniques or tips here?
Yeah, last time Anna actually taught us and shared more information about Mandarin. So I learned a lot last time, and I feel like I'm using that a lot too. It's a really great resources that you could use for your research. If you haven't used it before and it's time for you to try something new, I think this is a really good way to, list all the references. It's really helping you reduce literature review time. I think that's really important these days.
Yeah, I also used EndoNote, but now currently I use Mendeley. I think it's actually the better. And then again, that Anna and then Uzun also mentioned that it helps me a lot to reduce my time to manage whole papers. It's easily to find it, right? Yeah, if I saved all the documents in my computer, now there is no idea to find it except the paper. Thank you, Anna. It's very helpful for us. Any other questions or any your experience you'd like to share to many, your references?
I want to share one tip for Mendeley. This is probably not, I don't know, it's just my personal finding. Sometimes we'll find some PDF is encrypted and we cannot open it with like regular PDF. And somehow Mendeley can open that too. So if you're finding an encrypted PDF, and I don't know how they work that, or that single PDF. I just finding out that works, but it actually works encrypted PDF that you don't need to enter the password somehow. Yep.
So then, okay. And Richard, are you using any the research management software program?
No, not currently. I'm actually quite new to this. I'm kind of old-fashioned in doing it the long way, but I think this would actually really help save me a lot of time with the citing and sources, that's for sure. One thing I did have, and I think I'll probably figure it out too once I start using Mendeley or one of the other programs, is that are you able to actually sort the papers too? I'm assuming so, like in terms of dates, in terms of title of the paper or the author's names within your folders?
Yes, definitely you can do that. Yeah, you can do
I assume that you could, so.
Yeah. So I'm not so sure if that if some people write the papers rather than in Word, but like text, I believe they can also somehow kind of have adding in the link text too. You can also including the Mendeley inside that too.
Okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, that's also one thing.
Great.
Okay, thank you so
Yeah, this is excellent. I'd only used EndNote from the library, so this is much better because I don't like that. I found it kind of cumbersome. This seems much more holistic.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yep.
it's excellent.
Yeah, and also it's a free, so actually
Yeah,
it's student and actually to work together. So yeah.
stays free. Yes.
Yes. Okay, now let's move on to the the brainstorming sessions. Okay.